his hand. So if you receive the mark and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So if you receive the mark in your mind, if you follow after his philosophies, if you follow after his traditions, if you're in a covenant with America, if you're in a covenant with Great Britain, if you're in a covenant with all of these nations, what's going to happen? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So you're going to be caught up just like all these other nations going to get judged, because a judgment is coming for them. You're going to get caught up in the same judgment as them. Keep reading. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So on this side of the earth, North America, missiles are coming. And if you don't stop meaning the philosophies and the traditions of America, you're going to be fire and brimstone.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the apostles and elders of Yasharallah. Peace and salutations to the Bayaf Dawadah, the house of David for elect. Okay, and these pastors, all right, or so-called prophets are going to be destroyed. Okay, woe means destruction. Okay, because they're leading, okay, the pasture of the Lord's sheep, okay, astray. All right, which is you so-called black Spanish Americans. Okay, because they're totally breaking down, all right, the mark of the beast wrong. And I'm going to show you through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua what it is. Because why? Because it's very important to go into words. All right? And then you will see that there's literal people, okay? Clear to see that this system is going into a digital system. Everything is going to be digital. Why? Because fiat currency is no longer going to exist. All right? So these men, all right, which is clearly seen that their leader, all right, with his salary cap, all right, sold out. And these men are following like zombies, okay, do err in the scriptures, okay? They do err in the scriptures, all right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16, and I'm going to read it. It says, and he causeth all. Who's that he? That he is talking about Esau, Edom, the bankers, the top elites, okay? The Amalekites, all right? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Who's the free and bond? The free and bond is talking about people that's in prison or out of prison, small and great, okay? It's talking about people who are small nations, great nations. Everybody's going to have to take this CHIP. Now, when you go into the word mark,
Strong's G 5480, Charagma.
it says a stamp, an imprinted mark. See, these guys are talking about things that are spiritual, but we know that that this world is carnal, especially these Edomites. We know that that the system that they're bringing in, there's plenty of receipts that this new technology, which is merging man with machine, okay, which is the image of the beast system, the new Roman Empire, okay, is bringing in this new technology. And what they want to do is they want to what? They want to track every single person on the planet. This is factual. Now, we know this to be their plans. This is why the Lord gave us the heads up. This plan that they want to do, or they want to bring in, and they will bring it in, is what? The Karagma. It says, of the mark stamped on the forehead, or Elon Musk, or the right hand, which, it doesn't matter which hand, it says, as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Now, check this out. A mark branded upon horses. What do you do upon a horse? You brand it. You seal it with your name. Here's the kicker. Thing carved. That's what's going to be happening with the what? With the syringe, which is the karaks, sculpture, graven work. So you're going to have to carve this thing, which is going to carve it with the karaks, the syringe, and they're going to give you the karagma. You see? Jeremiah 23:1, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastures, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Therefore thus saith the Lord power of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. And these men are supposed to be feeding you, but they're giving you that leaven. They're giving you that poison. Okay? Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and that's what's going to happen. Okay, when the hour of temptation is taking place. Okay? Just like the apostles say, they're going to be scrambling, man. Because when this takes place, and it will take place very soon, mandatory, everyone taking the RFID chip, these people are going to be wondering if it's the mark of the beast, which is talked about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 15th verse all the way down. And they're going to remember the apostles and all the prophets that are speaking the same thing. Start with GMS and all the men across the four corners of the earth. They're going to remember what we were saying. Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. This is the word of our Lord Yahushai. The patience is talking about this truth, this work, letting the people know about what's to come, especially this important prophecy. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. What's the hour of temptation? When they bring about Jacob's trouble, when people's going to have to make a choice of what they're going to have to do. These people are going to be scrambling, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that word try means to test. You see? It says, therefore saith the Lord power of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Yeah, because they're not going to know what to do. You see, you have not told them the truth. Okay? And don't be surprised if your head leader Nathan Nathaniel is nowhere to be found, man. When this thing takes place, behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And they're gonna end up taking the chip. All right. I'm gonna play a couple things to show you what's to come. All right. And these are the things that starting with the Apostle Nelson Gray Milton, I've been warning you people about, that they're getting ready to make a move, and the move is to chip every single person on the face of the planet.
Welcome back. When was the last time you wrote an actual check or bought something with cash? Swiping and tapping our cards and our apps are not just the easiest way to spend money, they're the safest way, unless, of course, we misplace our phones or our wallets, and then it's a nightmare. It is hard to misplace your hands, however. And soon your hand may be all that you need to buy anything that you can afford and many things that you can't. Because a company called Walletmore is developing a very teeny tiny chip. You see it there in the X-ray? That should creep you out. The chip is like the ones that are found in smart credit cards or debit cards, and the chip gets embedded just under your skin and makes your whole hand a credit card. Joining me now is Wojtek Perota. He's the CEO and founder of Walletmore. Okay, Wojtek, this is so futuristic and out there, but walk me through how it actually works.
Okay, so first of all, thanks for having me. Let's look at the chip as a super small part that you can use wherever contactless payments are accepted. So it's exactly the same NFC technology, which stands for near field communication, and therefore it can be used only for the near field communication payments. So therefore you cannot be tracked, you cannot be monitored, you cannot be spied with that implant, because it's exactly the same technology as credit card.
So here's my worry, is that you can accidentally buy something by just having your hand too close to a machine, or you could accidentally have your data all stolen by shaking someone's hand, because a lot of times we protect our cards in cases that can't be penetrated. But if it's in your hand, it's really hard to do that.
It's not that simple, to be honest. First of all, you cannot lose money when you are shaking hands with anyone, because the implant is the passive tag, and it doesn't have any internal source of energy. And therefore, the only option to get the read of that implant is to put it in a near field of terminal. So therefore, the other implant, which is inside of the other person's hand, is not capable of processing information. You need to have that source of energy, and only terminals that you can see at the moment are capable of providing that energy. So that's one thing. The other thing is that you definitely cannot lose your money because of the fact that you tap in a random place. Why? Because the implant is so small compared to the credit card. Normally, of course, when you tap the credit card, the terminal, it gets the read instantly. With the implant, it's a little bit different because you need to be super precise. And therefore, if someone is touching your hand, finding this perfect sweet spot, because that's how we need to look at it, you would realize at least 10 times that something is going on with your hand. So that's
Do you have it? Wojciech, do you have it in your hand right now?
Yeah, of course. Actually, the X-ray that you saw was from my hand, and that's how it looks on my hand.
So show me your hand. Is it possible to see it at all? It's just barely standing out, right? Like it looks like maybe a little like a scar.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm popping it a little bit.
Oh man, that's crazy. Did you have a doctor insert it?
Yeah, of course, that's part of the deal because we are only building the implants, and when it comes to the installations, we want the whole experience to be as safe as possible, and therefore we built a network of partners all across Europe and the US. So therefore, if you are ordering an implant from our side, it's of course shipped to you, but then you need to schedule the appointment with one of the specialists who will just set it up for you.
So do you use it? Like, do you go up to a cashier and say, yeah, I'll just tap my hand? And if that's the case, what's the reaction from the sales clerks?
Yeah, of course. I've been testing it myself since the very beginning. I have been the first person to get it installed, and reactions are pretty wild, to be honest. Sometimes people just don't care, but because when they are stuck in the office for like 10 hours, they just do not care. They just care about having the payment to be processed. But sometimes the reactions are really extreme because when I tap my hand and there's clearly nothing here inside of the glove or anything else, anywhere else, they are just asking, how the hell is that possible? You need to have a watch somewhere down here in your shirt. But when I'm just taking it down and seeing and showing that, okay, there's nothing out there, then the conversation begins. But in most cases, it turns out to be like a positive conversation, because as long as explain how it works and what's actually inside, they're pretty much optimistic about it. So there is an instance.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's still a lot of regulatory there. I mean, this is a long way before it's mass market appeal, but it is really interesting to see that you're on the leading edge of this and that you're doing it yourself as your lead guinea pig. Wojciech Paprota, thanks so much for being on. I want to.
Well, Elon Musk's next project isn't a car or a spaceship or a solar panel. The executive's latest startup is called Neuralink, which focuses on the goal of implanting chips into human brains and also connecting brains to computers. Here's what Elon Musk said at a conference in California about the technology last night.
This, I think, has a very good purpose, which is to cure important diseases and ultimately to help secure humanity's future as a civilization relative to AI. This, I think, has tremendous potential, and we hope to have this aspirationally in a human patient before the end of next year. So this is not far.
Not far, he says. The implantation of the neuron, the implantation of the neuron-sized threads requires the use of a special robot, but Musk said it's a minimally invasive surgery. So Thornton, I'm sure that means you'll be getting one soon.
Gonna get a few for the kids with my 23andMe kit.
Naturally,
surprise. No, I mean the disease thing sounds great. That seems very awesome for humanity. But I am definitely thinking that for me, if I'm Elon, chips and brains drive the car, car's automated. Your Tesla is going to appreciate. Problem solved. All you have to do is get people to put chips in their brains, and Teslas will appreciate and value like he promised.
I mean, there's a lot of use cases.
I love that analysis.
There's a lot of use cases.
This is how you got to think.
I mean,
I think Elon. That's how you got to get.
Yeah. I mean, I wish he would get those self-driving cars going. I mean, that would be an achievement in itself. But yes, if he's dealing with people who have neurological diseases, spinal cord injuries, and they can be connected through this device, and it can help them, then great. But if Elon Musk is coming for my brain, forget it. I definitely am not interested.
I mean, there are a lot of people working on that too, right? Specifically when we're talking about trying to figure out how the brain can send messages to a computer or to a machine, in terms of people like you mentioned, Sabeel, who have mobility problems.
But you think
figure out how to work things that way. There's a lot of companies working on it. Part of the reason why he actually held this event was to get the name out there and also help hire people, because right now he's only got I don't even know if it's 100 people working there, but it's smaller, much smaller than any of the other companies he has out there, but trying to get people to jump on board and come saying, no, this is the company that's going to be getting things done.
Yeah, I mean, for those who have medical challenges, it makes sense to definitely try to ease their lives and help them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people who don't have mental challenges, but at the same time are already having issues with just like their smartphones and not being able to sleep, I can't imagine having a computer directly plugged into your brain will help.
I mean, call me old-fashioned, but when you own 5 other companies, saying this is the company, it seems odd. I mean, brain drain is going to happen in Elon Musk's own little universe.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, that's the thing about Elon that always sort of gets me sad in the end, is that these are great ideas, but he hasn't finished anything. I mean,
SpaceX is still launching things in the
Tesla. I mean,
Great
SpaceX
promoter.
has hit space, and Tesla cars are on the road, but Tesla's not a finished product as a company.
Sure.
I mean, it's barely. I mean, let's be honest, it's not ready to live on forever. SpaceX. I mean, I haven't seen a tunnel.
If you don't have your wallet, there's no problem. Just scan your palm to pay.
Amazon One is a payment system that has been tested at several stores around the Bay Area, and now it may be coming to a grocery store near you.
Ground Force Justin Campbell has more on how it works and the privacy concerns.
Just show your palm real quick. We may scan it.
I hope you don't use that.
The idea of using your palm to pay doesn't feel right for this Whole Foods customer, but others like the idea.
I don't know who else can get into my palm really, but I'm not really against it.
The technology coming to the Bay Area Whole Foods stores over the next few weeks works like this. Amazon says no 2 palms are alike. They use vision technology. You hold your hand above the device, which scans and takes less than a minute to create a palm signature. Your palm is connected to your credit card online, so whenever you want to pay, all you have to do is hover your palm.
Too intense. It's a little crazy.
This customer is worried about privacy.
I think using your DNA and stuff is just too much to give out.
There's a lot of different variables that need to be considered.
Ralph Aceves with Hacker Strike says in general the technology is safe, but he does have concerns.
The data that is being downloaded from the cloud to be able to know who you are based on your palm, stored in the device.
Amazon says palm images are not stored on the device. The images are encrypted and sent to the cloud. Aceves' other concern is phishing.
For example, at a grocery store, there's no one around, and someone could potentially replace that scanning device with a fake scanning device, just like they do today with credit card readers, right?
Aceves says he believes the technology is the future because it's convenient for consumers.
Not my palm? Jeez, come on.
Reporting in San Jose, Justin Campbell, Cron.